And welcome to Illini Drive on WPGU 107.1. Very fun show for you guys today. I am your host, Nathan DeHaan. You're joined by Jake Hasan, Brendyn Jones, Alex Aguilera. How's everyone doing? I know Jake's well rested. He said he took a nice nap today.
3.5 hours. Crushed it.
Good on you.
I could have slept through the night, to be honest.
all the way through tonight.
Oh, 1,000%.
Well, then you'd miss so much.
Well, yeah, I set my alarm because I had to be here for the show. I mean, what would the show be without me? It'd fall apart into shambles and chaos. Yeah. But here, it's not in shambles and in chaos.
Do you want to do the whole show then? Just prove how much of the anchor that you truly are?
I mean, you have a whole year of film for that, so...
Okay, man. Unlike Tommy, he was never here. Brendyn,
how funny would it be if he was actually listening? Like somehow today was the day he figured out our stream.
I'd get a text in 0.5 seconds. Mm-hmm. Brendyn, how are you doing?
I'm pretty good today. It's been a long day, but
Why was today long? You busy or just?
Well, yeah, I'm kind of busy, but I had a huge paper due tonight, but my professor extended it till tomorrow night. Shout out Kent. Yeah, I'm living right now.
That's huge. Alex, how you doing?
Doing good. I also took a nap. It was way less, like half an hour, 45 minutes. So I'm more rested.
I've been finding it's been harder for me to take short naps because I'll nap and then I'll wake up and I'll be like 30 more minutes.
Yep. Yeah, it's weird. Like I just slowly transitioned to it. Like just one day I just started waking up like half an hour later and I'm like, hey, I'm good. So I got an article published. So like I'm all.
Yeah, I saw that. Congratulations.
I wanted to congratulate you on that. That's an excellent segue. Alex now is a contributor for. Go ahead and plug yourself.
Dang, I gotta plug myself. Shameless plug. I am a contributing writer to Cubs Crib, which is a site on FanSided that covers all things Cubs and whatnot, Cubs news, Cubs analysis, all that good stuff. So yeah,
that is good stuff. What was also good stuff for us Cubs fans was watching Cardinals get swept last night.
Let's go.
In Washington.
Let's go, dude. You got your braces off.
I did.
Oh yeah.
I did. It's a good thing the camera's here today.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Cardinals got swept. Final score 7-4. What the Cardinals did to the Braves in their winner-take-all game was done unto the Cardinals in the next series winner-take-all game. And 7 runs in the first inning. Just very quickly off. Just off to a good start. Dakota Hudson doesn't even last 2 outs. So and then all of a sudden you have to go to a bullpen that Wainwright comes in next, and I like Andrew Miller a lot, but the Cardinals bullpen, I don't know, it wasn't their strength. The Cardinals were a well-rounded team. They didn't really have like a strength or weakness, but quick game, just it felt very over, and then the Cardinals made it feel very not over in the 5th when they made it a little action. Martinez with a nice little double to bring in 2 runs and really really push the make you tune back into the game, but for the most part it was sealed after the first inning. So we're in the offseason now. Jake, any comments on the game? Any whatever?
You just kept looking at me during that whole monologue. No, and I just want you to know I didn't watch a single second of that game.
You didn't?
Oh, I didn't even bother turning it on.
Wow. Just you were out.
Yeah. Oh, 1,000%.
Wow. That surprises me. I feel like you would at least watch, like, to see them, not to see them go down, but to like.
Nope. I watched Yankees Astros earlier in the day, and then I just turned the TV off.
Wow. Would you have turned it on if the Cardinals were winning in like the 6th?
Nope.
You were.
Why cause myself that heartbreak? Because they would have found a way to lose it. Guarantee it.
Okay. It was just not their series.
Right. Exactly.
Which like you.
And I had no interest. I mean, and I texted Isaac this during the game. He's like, dude. He's like, they're doing stuff. I said, I'm still not turning this game on. And he goes, but what if they win? I go, okay, then it's game 5, and it's just delaying the inevitable. And then I told him that series could have gone 7, and I wouldn't have watched game 5, game 6, game 7. Wouldn't have done it.
You're lying.
No, I do not believe it.
Why put myself through that? Because they would have left. Same thing, left the postseason.
What?
No.
Okay, game 7 might have been dramatic.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. I'm like,
even game 5, I mean.
Oh, no. I wouldn't watch game 5. Well, I would not watch a gentleman's sweep.
You're talking to a fan base that was so used to what you refer to as the inevitable of losing when you are thinking that your team's going to win, that went down 3-1 in the World Series and continued to fight. Then when that series looked over, when you had pitching and whatnot.
Yeah, but that's the World Series, not the NLCS.
It's one series away.
But it's still not it.
Whatever, man. I don't believe you for a second that you wouldn't have watched Game 5. I don't even know if I fully believe that you don't watch the second of Game 4.
I didn't.
Were you checking Twitter?
No. Isaac texted me.
What were you doing during the time of the game?
Literally anything else.
But no. I want a specific. I want an alibi.
I kind of blacked it out. What did I do? Oh, I did homework.
Okay.
Which is surprising. Which just shows you how bad it was, how much I didn't want to watch that game. And then I went to the gym and took a shower. Because the Yankees game ended at...
Cardinals, I feel like, started playing at like 7.
Yeah, and the Yankees game was at 3, so that would have been like right around there. Ate my dinner. Oh, you know what I did? I watched Lord of the Rings, Return of the King.
Okay. That's
Okay.
I would also rather watch that than the Cardinals,
Yeah,
but for different reasons. But now we're both in the off season.
Took me way too long to remember that.
I know. I was just like, I went to the gym. Like, I think it was like, oh, Lord of the Rings. That's what I was doing.
A 3.5 hour long movie that I watched. Now we're both in the off season. The Cubs in a little bit more grayer waters than the Cardinals. But I want to start with the Cardinals because they are the team that the off season hasn't been talked about yet for the Cardinals because they've been living, in the moment with the postseason going on. They've had more important things to talk about. Jake, you are now,
In the offseason.
correct. As I've said like 6 times to start the show. What would you like to see the Cardinals do or not do? What do you think happens? Just fire away any of your sort of predictions or hopes and dreams for what the coming, 5 months has.
What the Cardinals should do and what they will do is going to be 2 very different things. What they should do is let Marcell Ozuna walk, give Adam Wainwright another 1-year deal, bring in someone like Nick Castellanos. I don't know why I said Nick. That was weird. Nicholas Castellanos and Nicholas Castellanos and Zach Wheeler. That would be really that addresses
a professional hitter.
Things. Yes, because what did you need most especially this series? What did you need most? A good stud hitter, and Goldschmidt was supposed to be that guy. I'm not that hopeful that Goldschmidt returns to his MVP type form. I don't think he'll be this average as he was this entire season, but I don't think he's the guy that's going to carry you for an entire season anymore. I think you need Castellanos. He fills a big hole in your lineup.
Stay away from my man.
If you think the Cubs have the money to sign him.
I mean, they could. I don't know where the money totally is, but
it could happen.
Anyway, this is about me. Anyway,
it's going to be about us.
Wainwright, you kind of made a face. I think Wainwright pitched more than well enough to earn another 1-year deal and give him another shot. And because he was one of your best pitchers, not one of your, okay, well, obviously because he was in your rotation, so he's one of your best pitchers. But he was a lot better than you expected, especially considering the last couple of years of his career, how bad it was, over 4 ERA for a lot of those years. And then you have Wheeler. I think that fills a huge hole because then you have Flaherty, Hudson, Wheeler, and then you have the back end with Michaelis and Michaelis and Wainwright. And then you're still a really well-rounded team. And I think you need some bullpen help. I think that's probably Will Smith would be your top option, a guy was a closer with the Giants, who's been really good, high strikeout rate. What they will do is probably in the vein more of Mike Moustakas, Dallas Keuchel, and maybe Will Smith, but probably more someone like Hector Rendon.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be gunning for Will Smith.
Yes, including a market like the Red Sox, who are desperate.
Yeah, just a lot of competitors, a lot of teams that are looking to get into the postseason, or that have been in the postseason and have sustained success trying to win. Right now,
Brewers might try and bring him back and do a super pen. Dark horse. Long shot, this is a hopes and dreams thing.
Which I asked for.
They trade for Francisco Lindor, who we know is on the market, who we know that the Indians will listen to offers for because they are not planning on re-signing him. He's under control through 2022. So, and this is a superstar shortstop.
Why would they get rid of him?
Because
he's by far and away the best player on the team.
So here's what I'm getting to. Because the Indians don't want to rebuild. They still have Jose Ramirez. They still have Oscar Mercado, who's an emerging outfielder. They still have that rotation of Kluber and Bieber and Clevenger and Carrasco. And they still have a really good bullpen fronted by Brad Hand as their closer. So what you would need to do is give them an MLB ready or near MLB ready prospect. So that's going to be your top guy. That's going to be Nolan Gorman probably, who, it's going to be tough to part with him, but Francisco Lindor is under control for 4 more years, and he's a already established superstar. And then I think you can even throw, like, if you throw them Paul DeYoung, who is on a super cheap contract and is still only like 26 and has shown the ability to play at an all-star caliber level, and then throw in some other things. I mean, you throw in someone like Daniel Ponce de Leon, who already has experience as a bullpen guy and as a starter. But it would have to be fronted by Nolan Gorman and probably some other top 10 prospects in your system. But Francisco Lindor paired with Goldschmidt and paired with Edman and paired with Jack Flaherty, like that makes you World Series contenders. That makes you the favorite to get back to the NLCS again. Again, that's a hopes and dreams, like pipe dream. That I don't expect that to happen at all. But.
Right. Do you think anything changes, coaching wise?
I mean, outside,
why if it ain't broke?
I mean, yeah, outside of some minor, like some of the hitting coaches or pitching coaches moving around, but I don't expect Mike Maddox to go anywhere. I don't expect Jeff Albert to go anywhere, who's a pitching and hitting coach, and Mike Schultz obviously not going anywhere.
Yeah, he was very wrong with his
Yes, he was
with his little speech after the Brave series.
It's okay.
So Alex, the newly appointed contributor, Brendyn, a fellow Cubs fan, and myself are looking at a much murkier waters. We got a head coach vacancy that needs to be filled. There's a lot of players. I'm stumbling over my words. Theo Epstein's made it very clear that he will listen to anything the teams throw at them. That nobody's position is safe, and that they're still trying to win in this window, and they obviously still have the young players, but that things need to change because last year, you missed the playoffs with that, roster. Who do you guys? First question: Joe Madden, now the manager of the Angels. Who do you guys want to replace him as the manager of the Chicago Cubs?
Joe Espada.
Yes.
From
okay. So you're Joe Espada, Astros
all
bench
day,
coach.
every day.
He's expected to interview with the Cubs Monday.
That is my guy.
They're also going to talk to Gabe Kapler. Yeah, I'm.
As soon as I saw that he was a finalist, I laughed out loud.
They're interviewing a lot of people. There's going to be some names that people like. There's going to be names that other people like.
No, did they say they're down to those 2 as the finalists?
No.
I'm almost positive I saw that.
Jesse Rogers said that they were talking to them, but I think that I think David Ross. I think
those were the last 2
Joe
they were going
Girardi.
to talk to. I think.
Oh, that makes more sense. Okay.
Well, but I also wouldn't Joe Espada not be available until after the Astros are out of World Series contention?
Well, yeah, but they could still be like, all right, this is because they interviewed him already, or they can interview him after this series is over, in between series.
Just from what,
so they can nail it and be like, all right, this is our guy, this is who we want. They can't officially hire him until after.
Sure, but just from what ESPN staff writer Jesse Rogers, the guy that covers the Cubs, said is that they're interviewing him for the vacant managerial position on Monday.
Right.
Oh no. I'm reading this wrong. The team said on Monday. No, they'll interview him after the Astros win the World Series.
Brendyn, wait. So are you going off your Yankees?
No,
pick?
I'm still picking the Yankees.
Okay.
I'm still riding. I'm still riding the
for-
Bronx Bombers. I'm just saying that the likelihood is that the Astros win the World Series.
Okay.
So, just to be clear, Brendyn, who would you like to see the Cubs' new manager be?
Obviously I'm not as versed on this, but I like Girardi. I like Ross, but I'm not sure. I think he kind of brings the same player mentality, focus.
Go ahead.
That the Cubs kind of just got out of these last 4 years.
Yeah.
I don't know if shifting to another player focused coach is, the right thing because this would be Ross's first time coaching, and I think the Cubs kind of need an experienced coach to kind of. They have the talent, obviously. They need to be able to win. So I'm not really sure who I like right now, but yeah.
Yeah, so I hate David Ross.
Yeah,
it's fair.
As a potential hire.
I do not
That's fair.
want him to manage the Cubs.
I think that I don't think the Cubs have a toxic fan base, but I think that this Cubs fan base was driven kind of partially insane this last season with just everything that happened, the winning streaks, the losing streaks, the division in hand, and getting swept by the Cardinals when it mattered at the end. Just a lot of things that Cubs fans had finally gotten used to not being familiar with. And then this season, the ups and the downs, and all of a sudden Joe Madden out 5 years after winning a World Series. Yeah. Not even. But David Ross. So I don't think David Ross. I think that he would get eaten alive. I think that. I think people would love him until we got to mid-May and the Cubs had a sub 500 record, and all of a sudden it's easy to point fingers and say, "Listen, this guy's that doesn't." And for all the reasons that I don't want him. He doesn't have managerial experience. Why risk the roster that you know works because you've seen it work? Because this last year, obviously didn't work out, but you have the pieces right there. Why get risky? Why go with somebody that has never done this before and you're not sure if they're going to be any good at it at all?
Right. Alex Cora had never done it before.
Okay. Thank you. Do you think the Cubs should hire David Ross?
No.
Okay.
The thing is, I don't think
you're being devil's advocate for the sake of being devil's advocate.
But I don't think he'd get eaten alive. I think just the fan base and the clubhouse would tear itself apart because you'd have guys. Fair. You should never have friends manage friends. Yeah. And David Ross is still friends with a lot of those guys. It would just be horrible. Like you'd have guys.
There's a reason player managers don't exist anymore.
Right. Well, and you'd have guys who come in and they're like, all right, we got to listen to Rossi. Like he's our manager now. And then you'd have other guys be like, F that, like, I never hung out with this guy. He's not my friend. He's my manager. He's supposed to be, like, helping us, and he just wants to be everybody's friend. And so I think he's just a guy that wants to hang out in the booth, have his fun, like, and I think he's perfect for that. I think he's great in the booth.
And he's verbalized that he would like to continue to do that. So I think that he is flattered by the Cubs offer, but I don't think he accepts it. I also hope that that's not the direction they're trending for all those reasons.
I think Russ will be a good coach or manager, like, at some point.
Just not right now.
Not for the Cubs.
But have him be a bench coach for the Cubs. If you want him in the program, have him be a bench coach anywhere else and let him just sort of figure out things elsewhere.
Just don't want David Ross.
I don't want I don't want David Ross. And we talked about it on the show before. I want somebody from the Astros staff. I would like somebody from the Yankee staff. Somebody from the Dodgers staff. Just somebody that's been has experience with winning ball clubs and is ready to take maybe that next step to be a manager. Because whatever. You made the comment to me that Dave Roberts might be out in LA just because they still can't get over the hump. Multiple NLCS and
they would still bring him back even after.
So I think he would too, but there was just a point made that you have all this talent, you're the best team in baseball all year, and then this year you have your worst postseason finish since 2014.
No, like I thought he was out. Like I was like, okay, he's got to be done. And I'm just hearing some stuff like, oh, the Dodgers will bring him back. I'm like, what? Like, dude, you guys went to you've won 7 divisional titles. You made it to 2 straight World Series, and then on the way to a 3rd, and you get bounced in the divisional round after winning 106 games. Like, come on now.
Bounce to the eventual World Series contenders.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so
I think that makes it better that the Nats are going to the World Series. Probably makes it better that for him and the Dodgers.
I guess.
Like if it had been the other way around and the Cardinals sweep the Nationals, Dave Roberts is feeling some heat for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I bet. So I don't hate Kapler. I know he got fired from the Phillies and they didn't look great, but he played for the Red Sox and I don't know. I don't hate Kapler. I also think that they're going to hire somebody and everybody's going to look around and be like, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Right. And it's going to be a lot of I think this until it becomes March and April and games start getting played. And it's, you don't really know. We were happy with Joe Madden because we knew he had managerial experience, but there's not a lot of former managers on the market other than Joe Girardi, who I would like for the sake of managerial experience. People talk about him being an over manager. I mean, Madden sometimes was an over manager, but he's not as player friendly as Madden was.
Right. In hindsight, I'm fine with Joe Girardi. I think it's a solid option if they were to go that way. But I feel the way he left the Yankees. Because he won 90 games,
he won
right?
92 games and got fired.
Right.
Did he get fired or did he not get extended? The same way that what happened with Joe Madden. He got fired.
Yeah, no, that's
I was
what
he got my buddy
fired,
last night. I thought he was saying he would walked away.
See, and that just sort of rubs me the wrong way. Dude, you won 92 games and you got fired. I don't know. Something's up there. Something just feels off about that.
The next year, what the Yankees do? They were contenders. They were better, and it was did Girardi look like he was holding him back in that instance? So, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a lot of this right here, sports radio. It's going to be a lot of guys saying, this is what this is what the Cubs should do. This is what the Cubs should do. All this stuff. We'll see what the Cubs do, and we'll be looking forward to it. All right, we're going to take a break. Before we do that, quick ad read. Tune into WPGU 107.1 up until Tuesday, October 24th for a chance to win a free pair of tickets to the upcoming Young the Giant concert at the State Farm Center on Thursday, October 24th. We are giving away pairs of tickets on air on our social media platforms and through the WPGU 107.1 app. To purchase tickets, go to www.statefarmcenter.com or call 1-866-ILLINI-1. Young the Giant, only on WPGU 107.1, where you can win tickets to that concert October 24th. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit of Illini sports. They got a big game coming this weekend, and it's homecoming weekend, so we're going to talk about some of our plans. So stay tuned. And welcome back to Illini Drive on WPGU 107.1. Illini Drive is brought to you by University of Illinois Division of Intercollegiate Athletics. FightingIllini.com. Unify, develop, inspire, achieve. Illinois volleyball was in action this last week. Our very own Brendyn Jones covers the Illinois volleyball team for the Daily Illini here on campus. And a one-on-one week, a loss against number 6 Minnesota, a win against our neighboring state, Indiana. Brendyn, what'd you see this weekend? These are both games at home, so I know you were there. I know that there's probably a lot to unpack, so let's get right to it.
That Minnesota game, it was kind of weird. They lost the first set, and then they lost the second set. But the second set, they were down like 14-20, or it was worse than that. I think it was like 12-22, and the Illini went on like what seemed like 10-1 run to try to get that set back, and that led them into. They lost that set, but it led them into like some momentum because they totally dominated the third set. They won a third set.
25-12.
Yeah, 25-12. And then the fourth set really mirrored the second set into where they kind of got down early and they almost fought back. And it, like for a second there, like in the stadium, it looked like there was going to be a fifth set, which I think Minnesota wouldn't have wanted against this, very versatile Illinois team. But unfortunately, they weren't able to pull it out in the fourth set. But then they played Indiana, and they played them before, and they swept them before, and they swept them again. Illinois just has Indiana's card this year in volleyball. They played really well, beat them. I think the final scores were, hold on, it's pulling up. It's 10-25 in the first set, 25-13, then 25-14. So it was just, a lot of domination. I think what stood out to me most, Micah Allison, who had transferred here, we talked a little bit about her last week. She transferred here from Auburn, and at Auburn, she was their starting setter. But then she comes into this situation where Jordan Poulter from last year had graduated, and the setter position was kind of open. But the Illinois had the redshirt freshman Diana Brown, and they kind of had like a competition for who would be that starting setter. And setter's a position where you can't really change it around a lot because it's kind of like the floor general. And Diana Brown won that out, and then Mike Allison had kind of dealt with some injuries in the beginning of the season. But now, like, over the last 4 games, she's played hitter a lot. So they kind of transitioned her to that spot, and I kind of think it's just because there's so much talent there that, you can't really leave her out. So it's an interesting thing to watch. I wrote a story on it. I think it'll be out in the paper tomorrow, so check on that. And, yeah, I think it'll be super interesting to see how they play in this next week.
Also highlighting a player, Megan Cooney has really stepped it up. She had, a phenomenal game against Minnesota, was almost equal to Jacqueline Quaid with kills in the game against Indiana. Can you speak a little bit to just like what she's been able to do and how her involvement like changes this, the look of the team? Because originally it looked like it was Jackie Quaid and everyone else.
Right, exactly. So Cooney has kind of stepped up in this last week and a half. One of these games, I forget which one, she broke her career record for kills, which was 19, and she hit 20, and she led the team, I think. And she's also super efficient. Her hitting percentage is always up, which is just good because as we talked about, a lot of these teams, especially in the Big Ten, Jacqueline Quaid's been playing in the Big Ten for 4 years now. People know to look out for her. So just adding that extra, hitting power in people like Megan Cooney and people like Mike Allison, where you can really spread out the hits, it really helps. And Megan Cooney has really shown up these last 2 weeks.
A tough upcoming road stretch for the Illini. 3 games against number 7 Wisconsin, number 6 Minnesota, and number 8 Penn State. What do we realistically? How do you imagine this weekend going?
So Wisconsin has 2 middle blockers. One is 6'7", one is 6'8". And
that's tall.
Yeah, it's really tall. Wisconsin also beat Nebraska, and that's how all three of those teams I think are now ranked above Nebraska. I think it's going to be tough. This is 3 games against 3 top 10 opponents in 6 days. They're all away. It's not going to be easy. If I had to guess which one Illinois has the best chance to win, it's Minnesota. They see Minnesota.
Yep, they already got tape on them.
Right, they already have tape on them. That 4-set loss to Minnesota was a lot closer than it seemed in the box score. So that's probably the one. Realistically, I'm thinking that it might be a 1-2 little stretch.
Mm-hmm.
But you never know with this team. This team is very versatile. This team has shown its stretches where it just dominates teams that are better than them. But they've also shown in stretches where they struggle against teams that they really shouldn't. So I think they're finally clicking, and you're finally getting more consistency, and it'll be fun to see this next week.
Yes, it will. Make sure to stay up to date on Illinois volleyball news. Follow Illinois volleyball on Twitter and all those good things, because it will be a very tough stretch for them. It will be a lot of good games of volleyball, and if Illinois can at least even go 2-1 in that tough stretch, I mean, that can put them right back on track to where they feel like they need to be this season.
Yeah.
Another team looking to get back on track is the Illinois Fighting Illini football team. They've had a tough stretch, starting the year off 2-0, 4 straight losses now, and in comes number 6 Wisconsin, who has been dominating teams all throughout college football, especially teams from Michigan. Haven't let up a point against any of them. They have a very good defense, a very good rushing attack. Jonathan Taylor on the year, 129 carries, 825 yards, 14 touchdowns. Just an animal, a Heisman candidate every year, and people around college football and in the Big Ten especially know Jonathan Taylor. He went off against Illinois last year. That game was in Madison. Now we're all going to have front row seats, or wherever you sit in Memorial Stadium or on your couch to watch them take on a struggling Illinois team that gets Brandon Peters back. Lovie Smith confirmed in his press conference on Monday. We talked a little bit about the quarterback situation then. That Brandon Peters is the quarterback. As long as he's healthy, he's playing. So he's playing. Reggie Corbin, supposed to be the star of this offense, has been struggling recently. He's yet to eclipse 400 yards in the year. They've already played 6 games. You kind of expected this guy to be in leading or in the upper echelon of the Big Ten rushers this year. I think the best part of the offense right now is Josh Itamora-Bebe. I mean, he's got 20 receptions, 322 yards in the year, 5 touchdowns. He had over 100 yards for the first time in his career last weekend against Michigan. But we saw how the Michigan game went. The Michigan, they came out, they dominated, 28 points in the first half. Illinois made it interesting in the third quarter, put together a good stretch of offense, able to get some stops on defense, but Michigan closed the game out. 42-25 was the final score of that game. Wisconsin comes in allowing 42.5 points, while 4.8 points against. They averaged allowing teams score on average less than 5 points against them. Illinois averages 30.7 points a game and allow 30.7 points a game. So according to that, we're 500. Guys, Jonathan Taylor's going to run for like 400 yards.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of scary. I think last week against Minnesota, before the game, Minnesota was rushing 120-some yards a game, and then Illinois let up almost 300 yards rushing.
295 yards to a Michigan team that wasn't really known.
Right. So Jonathan Taylor, I mean, if you pay attention to college football, he's inarguably the best running back in the Big Ten, probably the best running back in the nation right now. He averages 120 yards a game rushing. I think he might go over 200, maybe more, especially if Illinois early does not stop him. So,
yeah, I mean, let's be frank. Let's be honest with everybody here. There's not a lot of positives to pull from Illinois football right now. They can't really stop the pass, so they haven't been able to do that all year. All of a sudden, their rush defense looks to be maybe even in worse shape. And you're playing one of the best rushers, in the country at Wisconsin ever, maybe. It's going to be very tough. But it's homecoming weekend, so we're gonna shift the conversation a little bit away from the field at Memorial Stadium right now, and I want to go around the table. I want to know what you guys are doing for homecoming. If you got anybody visiting, if there's any alumni you're excited to see. Alex, I'm gonna start with you. What's your homecoming schedule?
Well, I gotta work football.
Oh yeah. We all.
I got in his voice. When he says that.
I gotta work football.
I gotta work football too.
I gotta be out in the cold for like 3 hours, which is great. I mean, I get to see Jonathan Taylor. Like, I guess that's gonna be fun. I don't know. I'm just like gonna take it very easy this weekend. Like, I just want to like chill. Maybe go to Cam's before they close.
Yep.
You know, I haven't been to Cam's in a while. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been to Cam's, so I kind of want to go there right before they close.
It's gonna be a long line.
Yeah.
Really, really
You better be there like
long line.
9 o'clock.
Yeah, so, man, I'll figure it out. I don't know. I play it by ear, man.
Yeah.
I go with the flow.
Yeah.
But I gotta work football. That is a known fact.
Brendyn, what are you doing for homecoming weekend?
My family's coming in Saturday morning. We're gonna tailgate. I'm gonna go to the game.
Because I went to Wisconsin.
Yeah, I went to Wisconsin.
Are
last
they
week.
coming to visit this weekend?
Who?
Like the people that you went to
Well,
visit
yeah, I
in
know
Wisconsin?
some people. Not all the people I went, but some people who my friends that go to Wisconsin are coming down. I'm gonna see them too. But my family's coming down.
That's back-to-back weekends for you guys then.
That is.
Leave each other alone.
But I mean, this will be another bad. Hopefully, it won't be a bad game. My family came last year during the Iowa game.
Oh,
That was tough.
Big
So,
goof.
we don't talk about the Iowa game on this show.
But yeah, then my brother is spending the night with me, and I think we're gonna try to hit Cam's too. So I'll see you there, Alex.
Hey, man, let me know. Let me
I
know.
got you.
Let me know, bro.
It's not. It's not. I'll see you there, Alex. It's like I might see you there.
I might see you
because
there.
Alex is so go with the flow.
That's true.
Jake, what are your homecoming plans?
Avoid the Illinois game.
Much like you avoid the Cardinals.
Correct. I
hear-
do
you hear the snap,
have
too.
Actually, I'm not sure if my family's coming here. I should probably figure that out. And my sister will figure it out. But yeah, other than that, kind of just gonna hang out. Probably will be at Cam's. Fun fact: if you look at David Dobrik's Instagram story, you can see my signature above his head. It's awesome.
There you go. Yeah.
Nice.
Huge win. Huge win for the Jake Hasan brand.
Okay. Let's actually talk on this.
Okay.
David Dobrik. Who is this guy?
No idea.
He's
I do not care.
He's a YouTuber.
yeah,
right?
he's YouTube. He's okay. So from what I know,
Okay, wait. For our listeners, before we start breaking down who this guy is, they need the context. This guy, who's apparently a YouTuber, was on campus yesterday. He was
Yeah.
like giving away things, which I think is like a running thing that he does. And then like he like had this whole thing where he was like, "We're gonna save cams," and everybody was like, "Woo!" And then he like went to cams, and there was like a weird like VIP section for him at the front, and
really?
like everybody was like hanging out there, and like everybody was like trying to get in the picture that he was like posting or whatever. Jake's signature is on his Instagram story right now. If you
Nice.
at home know who David Dobrik is, then you can go check that out. Who is this guy?
okay. So from what I know, he is a YouTuber, obviously, but he's like a vlogger.
Okay.
So literally, this guy just films his life.
And like,
Just
is he
does random stuff.
Is
He
he
just does-
interesting or like?
I saw like one video of his, but like, I mean, he's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
He just like he just
It
did
seems as though he has a very female audience.
I believe, yeah.
Is he an attractive guy?
I don't think so.
No, just
I don't think so.
Like not.
He's
just
very
like-
he's very average looking.
Yeah.
Like he's just like you could put this guy together on Photoshop. Like just
He's
using
he's
random.
Or
He's
is
a
it,
six.
I want to say,
sure if you want to if you want to objectify him like that.
he's,
if you wanted to
bro, you posed
you wanna
you
put-
posed this question.
Yeah, Nathan, you put yourself in this one.
You
I
posed
asked,
if you want to put all
I
of his
just said he's
value into a single distilled number, Nathan, you go right ahead.
I asked, who is this guy? I didn't ask if he was handsome. And then
did. You just did.
I know. I said
That's exactly what you did.
all right. I kind of did. Well, because you
And
know,
then you proceeded to rate him on your own.
Well, I was based off your guys' description. The only reason I ask and the only reason I'm on the topic is just because I feel like there was a ton of guys that were like, I have no idea who this guy is. Why does everybody care that he's on campus? Why is there a line down the quad? To
I
show-
man,
it was so long.
I flipped when I saw that. I was like, "What is going on? Like, are they giving out free money?" And then I heard.
I think that's
overheard
what he
someone-
does, though. I think he gives
like
out free money.
apparently he was giving like laptops out or something.
Are you serious?
Like
I
apparently.
don't know. Someone won like $1,000 from him. I'm pretty sure.
for what?
I don't know.
For what?
I don't know. I just saw it on.
What they do? What did they do?
I think they just entered a contest.
Existed.
What?
That's what they did.
Please
I
cut
could've
that.
done that.
What just
I could've
happened there?
1,000? You telling me if I would have hopped in that line, I could have possibly won
I
$1,000?
think it was a previous contest. I don't think you had to be in line.
Oh,
for
okay.
It.
Never mind then.
God, clip that. That was incredible.
Alex for sure thought that he just missed out on the grand.
I literally like walked past that line just thinking, oh, okay, like what's going on? Like I just okay, like people
You're
are
in
just,
my way.
literally they were.
I mean-
I said excuse me.
You just like stepped over the line. They were like sitting down, weren't they? I don't know.
No, they were standing up at that point.
Then this is a segment that was supposed to be about Illinois sports. It turned into us discussing.
All I know is he's friends with Josh Peck.
Okay.
I
There's-
know
yes,
that.
I
Yeah,
think
I want to say he's friends with Josh Peck. Like
Okay.
they're buddies.
Okay. The Drake to Josh Peck's Josh.
What did you just say?
The Drake to Josh Peck's Josh.
The
Drake.
wait,
It's Drake and Josh.
wait.
Okay, so
the
you
Drake,
could have just said the Drake to Josh. You didn't have to add the extra.
the
Josh
real
on, it
life.
makes
You
it
could have
confusing.
like the real life Drake to Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I said a variation.
Man,
of that.
Nathan needs a break. So
I
bad
need a
right
break.
now.
Yeah.
You're just criticizing me over here. We are going to take a break because it is that time, and I need a break. Illini Drive is brought to you by University of Illinois Division of Collegiate Athletics, fightingillini.com, unify, develop, inspire, achieve. I have no idea what we're going to talk about in our next segment, so that's the reason you should stick around.
We
We'll
can
be
talk
right
about that
back.
weird St. Louis high
Go
school
outta here.
football story.
Yeah, what? I don't know what's going on,
All right,
so maybe
all right.
you could talk about this.
All right, sure.
Well,
Happened against my
we're
former
going to
high
talk about
school.
something, that's for sure. So stick around. David Dobrik is a Slavic-born YouTube personality, an actor and talent show judge. He's known for being the de facto leader of the popular YouTube ensemble The Vlog Squad, as well as Axel from the Angry Birds movie 2. They made a second one.
Oh yeah, I'm
And he's
pretty
one-
sure there's a third one. Out
And he's
there
one of the
somewhere,
judges
too.
on America's Most Musical Family. He's 5'10".
America's most musical family.
I don't know.
That's
Welcome
a
to,
competition.
What is that?
Who was America's Most Musical Family? Now?
welcome to
We should enter that.
Welcome to Illini Drive on
It's the
WPGU
four of us.
1071.
5 of us. Jason's in this with us.
Yeah, that'd be great. Musical though? Well, we run a radio show that plays alternative music.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
the month of November has the 107 best
Right.
alternative
We
songs
play
of
the
all time.
Yeah.
we play the
Right, right.
meanest soundboard and camera.
know it.
I mean, we got Alex Aguilera on the board. Anything can happen. Maybe we should enter that. But in drama elsewhere, just about 2.5 hours to the west of us right now, there is an investigation underway into Cardinal Ritter's football program. Jake, you know more about this than I do because I'm just reading an article from KSDK, a St. Louis-based news source right now. Give us the lowdown on what's going on because it is. I mean, it's worth investigating because there's
Spill that tea.
yeah.
So Cardinal Ritter is like the consensus #1 high school football team in St. Louis, and like they're a powerhouse. Like they're expected to win the state championship, all that stuff. And one of their players was ruled ineligible for the first game of this year because he got ejected in the final game of the 2018 season.
Bill Jackson was ejected in the Class
Correct.
3 state championship game last
Correct.
winter.
So he wasn't supposed to play the season opener against my former school, Nazareth Academy, which is in Chicago. And Nazareth Academy was the #1 school in Chicago football, and they won a 7A state championship last year. So I don't know if this was like
Shout out.
So I don't know if this was some kind of like crossover St. Louis, like Illinois, like the #1 schools or whatever. But this game happened, and Jackson was supposed to not play because he was ineligible, but he was eligible to return week 2. Somebody figured out that he played in week 1 and was listed as a freshman, and just ran all over Naz. I think Cardinal Ritter won 31-24, something like that, and Jackson had a 56-yard touchdown. So really, like he beat Naz, I guess, is the whole thing. But somebody identified him because of the tattoos on his right arm and pictures from the first game and pictures from the rest of the season. And somebody put 2 and 2 together. So now Cardinal Ritter, which is 7-0, is looking at having all of their wins vacated, and so which would give another win to all of the teams that they played.
So Bill Jackson, who originally wears number 4, put on the number 24 uniform.
Correct.
Identified as freshman Marvin Burks and played in the game. And then the next week, he was still same old number 4. He was same old Bill Jackson, and he's been doing his thing the entire time. People noticed because of a video posted on Coach Brandon Gregory's Instagram account. Their coach. I don't know if he's their head coach or assistant coach or whatever. But it shows number 24, this freshman, which is very unlikely, leading the team through their pregame huddle before the season opener. So this In the story that they're trying to sell, this freshman is like gassing up the entirety of the varsity football team and then going out and playing eerily similar to Bill Jackson. And oh wait, he's got the same tattoos as Bill Jackson. They were very distinct tattoos on his bicep and along his arm. And now they could lose all 7 wins and be banned for postseason play. I'm also seeing here they could lose their star back for 2 games, which I don't think they would do just that. I think that they would take this a little bit more seriously. The governing body of St. Louis sports.
Right.
I'm not sure the title. But you can't just ban the kid from 2 games. Guess what? He'll put on number 24 again. he'll run all over teams still because he'll still play. You got to take repercussions against the coaches that allowed this and just the program as a whole that tried to get away with this.
I think that the coaches definitely deserve way more repercussions than the kid because, like, you have to think that the coaches were encouraging this. Like, it wasn't the kid was like, oh, I'm just going to switch jerseys and not
Guys,
tell
I have
anybody.
a great idea.
You know what I mean? So the coaches definitely had to be encouraging it at the least. And, what is a kid going to say? Like, he wants to play the game and his coaches are telling him, just put on this jersey, like, it'll be fine. So, yeah, I definitely think that the state's going to come down on the coaches.
Yeah, it's. I mean, like I'm looking now at like the St. Louis Dispatch, and it's got number 24 at the time, but it's him playing against Jake's former school, Nazareth Academy, and it's funny just like seeing like pictures. Like cameras are so high definition now, and like the reporters were right there on the sideline that like he's right there, like there he is,
Yeah.
and there he is wearing number 4 because it's the same kid, and.
Yeah.
Wow, I did not realize this was going on. This all like kind of broke during the Cardinals during the game last night, wasn't it? Like it
I wouldn't know. I wasn't watching it.
well, no, not. You've made it clear you weren't watching. This happened at the same time. Like it was like a crazy 24 hours for like St. Louis area, I believe.
Oh yeah, I mean it broke last night. I wouldn't know the time frame, but for obvious reasons that we've already established. But yeah, I mean it came out last night, and I just saw it because it was super weird. Because when I saw it on Twitter and I saw Nazareth Academy, I was like, Cardinal Ritter, like I've never even heard of that, and it was coming from St. Louis outlets, so it was really confusing. I don't know. I'm an old now. I'm washed up. Washed up high school. I didn't even play football. I don't know.
You golfed.
Golfed.
That was it, right?
State senior year.
But other sports.
Baseball for 2 years.
Yeah.
But
Brendyn, what sports do you play next?
I played football for all 4 years, and then I played lacrosse my last season because I wanted to play another contact sport before. But we were bad.
Brendyn wanted a locker box.
My buddy always tries to give me crap saying that he played a contact sport and I didn't in high school when I played soccer, which I mean you could.
No, yeah, that's
it. It is a contact sport,
Right.
but he just like tries to be a little troll and say like, oh, like well at least like I played a contact sport, and I was like, well, it's lacrosse. Like, yeah, it's a contact sport, but like it's like the exact same vein as soccer.
Yeah.
Like it's still a field. It's still just like bodies and I'm
Right.
getting to hit people. With
Also,
stick.
like
That's
lacrosse,
pretty
like for my 1 year experience with lacrosse, it's not about contact. Like,
yeah,
because we
There's
were
very little.
Yeah,
like,
our whole lacrosse team was just all the football players that wanted to play a contact sport. But it was like we just got beat because we didn't have stick skills. Like we just were
Everybody just
really
wanted
bad.
to hit somebody.
Everybody just, literally it was just everybody wanted to hit somebody.
Everybody's just like juking you with.
Right, exactly.
Brendyn was the enforcer out here, just running straight line. Like,
Nah, yeah, but
There's a flying V in lacrosse, just like trying to smash people.
like geese in flight.
Yeah, man.
we
they have
we were really
formations
we
to
were
run
penalized.
people over.
We were penalized a lot that year. It was bad.
I'd love to hit somebody with just
No, it was
whip 'em
cool
with the
because it
stick.
was also like a lot of like kids that didn't like contact because like lacrosse it's super skill based. So it was like a lot of kids that didn't like contact. So when you hit them, they'd be mad at you. But like sometimes you get away with it, sometimes you can't. So it was fun though. I like it.
Okay.
Alex, sports in high school.
2 years of baseball.
Yeah.
I got hit a lot, and I don't know
Hit by
why.
pitches?
Yeah, I got hit a lot for some odd reason.
So you were the John Jay of high school baseball.
Legit, like I wasn't very good, but like when I went up to bat, like I'd get hit
got
by a
on base,
pitch,
though.
or I would get walked, and I'm just like, why?
Good at eating pitches.
Yeah, I was just like, hey, like I know I'm not gonna be able to hit the ball, so if I could get on base, if I get hit, I'll take one for the team. But I took a lot for the team, and it kind of hurt. Some of those hurt.
Alex literally put his body on the line for the team.
I did.
Took a
Is
lot for the team.
is
It kinda
baseball a
hurt.
contact sport?
Yes.
I mean, there's definitely some
Yes.
instances of contact, like,
Yeah, of course.
but
If Odor's playing.
Getting hit in the elbow by someone who doesn't know how to throw a baseball properly sucks.
that's tough.
Oh,
The
you took an
elbow's
elbow.
tough.
That was gonna be a question. Did you ever take an elbow shot?
That stung. It was just like right, like chills.
Dude, that even like my friend plays D3 baseball for Illinois Tech, and he got hit on the hand by a pitch and just shattered his hand.
Ooh.
It's brutal. He was in a cast for an entire summer.
Jesus.
It's hilarious.
Well, I'm glad that
What?
that didn't happen. But yeah, no, the worst was I got hit in the elbow and it was rough.
I don't know why, but I could just see you being the guy that just eats pitches. Like,
I didn't know why.
I could see you. I think it's because I could just see you just get a hit and be like, "Come on, man!"
Like look-key, like there were some times where like I really wanted to hit. Like I could like legit. There was a couple instances where I got hit like twice in the game. And I'm like, this is so dumb.
Alex Aguilera is appearing in the box score with 0 for 0 with 3 hit by pitch.
And one
Legit. Legit.
That's tough.
Dude, those
That's
guys-
incredible.
and it was only me. It was only me. It was only me. I'm like, hey, you know what? That on base percentage, I hope
And,
it's decent.
and your
Your
coach
slugger was
definitely
down
kept
low.
running you out there for exactly that reason.
I legit, I was fully convinced. I was fully convinced why he let me bat because he knew I could either draw a walk or get hit by a pitch.
Did you ever invest in like an Evo shield, like a
Nah, I should have. I legit should have
clearly?
because I thought I was like, oh, I probably won't play, and then went up to bat, got hit,
Oh man,
got hit, walk, got hit.
How many times did you get hit multiple times in one game? Ever?
I want to say there was a game or two where I got hit like twice.
Jeez.
That's tough.
They really.
Like-
I think, dude. You know how like they
I would-
talk about like. So I don't think this about you, but you know how they say that people have like punchable faces.
Yeah.
I guess you just had like.
I
a-
guess
you had a, you
it
had, you
was
had a hit,
so. I,
you had a hittable batter stance.
I guess so.
I'm glad
Just,
you prefaced it with, I'm not saying this about you.
I'm not saying this about you,
Alex
but
got in the box like this guy's
Man, let me
stance
nail
is
him.
really.
man, I cannot. No,
Did you have like a cocky sort of like Juan Soto?
No, I had like
cup
a-
cracking
I had like
sort
a
of
very-
He was probably
setting
getting
in
up
the
there
box.
like, man. Oh, wait, okay.
no, legit. I did.
Right,
I had
so
like this
timid.
weird stance where I was just like tense and I would lean back and like I looked like afraid when I like my
Alex
advance
goes,
looked
not
like
again, not again, not again, not again.
I just go up there and just be like okay, like this might be the day I get a hit. Just like I get hit and I'm just like
This
oh my
might be the
God.
day I
Did-
don't
what
get
did
hit
it-
by
I
the
finally
ball.
get a pitch that I can hit.
What did you do like when you did get hit? Like, did you just eat it? Did you just walk it
I
off?
would eat it and just like go to first.
Was there
You
like a
never charged?
disgusted bat flip, like bat toss to the dugout?
There was one time where I kind of just kind of like flicked the bat away and I was
Sick
just like
of it?
really I got kind of mad that one time.
Did you have more hits or get hit by more pitches?
Oh, I got hit by more pitches.
That's tough.
I got hit by. I don't even think I had a hit. Like that's just how bad. That's how bad it was.
Career batting average
That's how
was probably like 187. On base percentage was like 483.
I swear to God, I would get hit so much. They said it was a curse. So like there was another guy that would get hit a lot too. And then when I hopped on the team and I started getting hit, he's like, finally. And I'm like, what? He's like, the curse has been lifted. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, I don't get hit anymore, but you do. I was like, oh, great.
They passed it along for
That's
like
tough.
every year.
Legit. And
Oh man, that's incredible stuff.
Yeah, I really didn't know what we were gonna do for this last segment, and we just filled it with high school.
yeah,
That was incredible
Us
stuff.
be unable
Right.
to close the yearbook.
that was. You know what? I made up for it. I was a decent outfielder.
Okay.
I was the next guy in line. Our right fielder was actually pretty solid. And there was one time where they pulled him from the game, and my coach threw me right, and he's like, "Go." I was like, "Oh, okay."
All right.
I was like, "All right, you have that much faith in me. All right."
Well, Alex, you stay safe out there. All right.
yeah, man.
Watch out for oncoming baseballs.
Avoid
Man,
unidentified
you know
flying
what?
objects.
You know what? Legit, I think it scarred me because one time I was at my brother's house and we were watching funny videos. And you know those ones where like the ball comes at you? I flinch. I was like, and he
I'm
looks.
sorry, coach.
You know what sorry, God. You know what this tells me? We need Alex for our intramural dodgeball team because he'll just be a magnet.
No, that's different because I was pretty decent at dodgeball when we played in high school.
Alright.
That's different.
All right, man. The evidence
That's
that you've
different.
put out there for us right now suggests otherwise.
That was incredible.
Whatever.
Well, I mean, I guess you can catch now and dodge,
Right,
Whereas
like, I
you
can't-
had to hold a bat.
Right.
Imagine if somebody caught a pitch when they like somebody threw it
So
out.
I
That'd be
tried
the
to do
coldest
that
thing.
one time in high school.
just like
You're bold.
Well,
was
because
such
so
a
I had like
ballsy thing to
so I
do.
had like those really thick batting gloves that would like help you like that made you hold the bat like a certain way, a certain spot in your hand. So since they were so thick, I got so cocky one time because this kid wasn't throwing very hard. And so he tried to throw me like a curveball, and it was just a hanging curveball, and I tried to do it. I tried to catch it. I looked like an idiot, but I recorded the hit by pitch, so that was cool.
There you go. Yeah.
But I got roasted real bad for like 2 weeks for that one,
Yeah. Well,
as I should have.
what a show today.
I want to play baseball
What?
again just so that I cannot get hit by a pitch. I can actually go out there and swing. Dude, those guys suck. The pitches that I face just suck.
All right, Alex.
They suck.
Love you, buddy, but you need to get off the soapbox so I can close this show.
All right, fine.
Thank you for tuning into Illini Drive today on WPGU 107.1.
Some of those games were like 20 degrees, man.
Make sure to check out the Tuesdays, Thursdays
It was
crew
cold.
tomorrow at
You know what
6 to
that
7.
feels like to get hit?
On
It's
behalf,
20 degree weather.
on behalf of ranting Alex Aguilera, Brendyn Jones, Jake Hasan, I'm Nathan DeHaan. This has been Illini Drive. Alex, hit the music.